Happy Wednesday, all. Hope you're having a good week. All right, so we are continuing on with First Amendment rights, and today we're going to be switching over to freedom of religion, which, as we talked about the first day, is also an item that is protected under your First Amendment rights. You've now done freedom of speech and expression. We'll be wrapping up with religion today, and then next week we'll talk about flag burning and more symbolic speech. So let's talk a second about what it means to what exactly is protected with freedom of religion in your First Amendment. So if you recall, the First Amendment says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech and press and all of that. That first section is what we're really interested in. What I'm going to tell you about now is the vocabulary for this section, because you're going to be doing 3 court cases today, very similar to the structure that we've had. So there is 2 vocabulary terms that are for this religion section. One is the exercise clause, right? And again, this is pulled directly from the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects 2 parts of religion. First is the exercise clause. You have the right to practice your religion. No one can prevent you from practicing your religion, which is why there's that strange thing like Pastafarians, who they have to wear colanders on their heads for pictures, which is why you have individuals who driver's license have colanders on their heads. This is protected. If that is truthfully something that their religion says that they should do, the government cannot prevent you from doing it, okay? The second is the establishment clause. So not only do you have the right to practice your religion, but the government can't force you to be a certain religion. And that, again, we consider the establishment clause. There's a separation of church and state. The government can't force you to be a certain religion. And let me see if I can move myself here. That way you can kind of see both. So that's the 2 parts of the First Amendment when it deals with religion. You have the right to practice your religion. You have the right to not be any one particular religion. Okay, so let me take you through what activity you will be doing today. This should look somewhat familiar. It's the same structure as we've been doing the past 2 classes. You're going to give me the facts of the case, the key arguments, the legal questions. Again, this has something to do with the First Amendment. What the decision is, and key vocabulary. You have 3 court cases. The first is Engel versus Vitale in 1963. Takes place in New York. It's a school, and it deals with prayer in school. The second one is Wisconsin versus Yoder in 1973. It deals with the Amish and actually schools as well, on whether or not Amish people have to send their children to school. Their religion says that after a student turns past 8th grade, they should not be educated. And so the court case is dealing with that. There is a reading that will be posted. Let me just see if I can pull it up here. Yep. It looks similar. I think it's slightly out of order. It says Wisconsin versus Yoder first. I did them by date on that graphic organizer. So just be careful of that. It has those 2, okay? The last case on this chart is much, much more recent. You'll see it's 2008. And this is also related with First Amendment and your rights to have your rights to your religion and what your religion entails, but it is an extension. So let me actually just pull up. This is something that we would have spent a little bit more time on if we were actually in class together. But this is dealing with Article or Title 7 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And it's basically an extension of your First Amendment rights. This act says to enforce the constitutional right to vote, to confer jurisdiction upon the district courts of the United States to provide an injunctive relief against discrimination in public accommodations, to authorize the Attorney General to institute suits to protect the constitutional rights in public facilities and public education, to extend the Commission of Civil Rights to prevent discrimination in federally assisted programs, to establish Commission of Equal Employment Opportunity, and for other purposes. Basically, what this act does is make it so that You cannot be discriminated based on many things, one of which is religion. Okay, so an employer cannot, uh, choose to not hire you because of your religion. Okay, um, and do you think this is a logical connection? Um, Again, this is one of those things that you kind of can't have a guarantee of freedom of religion if these things aren't in place. So that is the connection between those two. And that really, if you take a look on that chart, as I jump back to that, I already put that as the vocabulary term for there. So Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The other two, you're going to have to figure out. One of these court cases is dealing with the Establishment Clause, or the fact that like the government can't tell you what religion to be. And one of them is dealing with the Exercise Clause, where they're preventing a religion from practicing based on their beliefs. So you'll have to figure out which one is which. Okay. With Eloaf, I'm going to attach that isn't part of the whatchamacallit, the readings. There are two short videos. I think all said it's like 7 minutes worth of material that I will post for that. And basically what this court case is dealing with is Samantha Eloaf, who is a Muslim, applied for a job at Abercrombie and Fitch. Now, this job had said that you cannot wear black caps or any sort of hat for attire too. And Eloaf, being a Muslim, was wearing a hijab. Okay. And Abercrombie, even though she would have been hired if she was not wearing her headscarf, her religious headscarf, they chose not to hire her because they say it disregarded their looks. Lots of companies do this. For example, I worked for Disney for 2 years. And during that time, they had very specific things you had to adhere to. One time I got in trouble for wearing green nail polish because it wasn't one of their approved colors. Um, Although I have good things to say about my experiences with working with Disney, it was one of those odd things. And they had other things like you couldn't wear unnatural hair colors, or, there was very specific things about your look that you agreed to by being employed by them, you agreed to. So this isn't necessarily something that is just Abercrombie and Fitch, but the fact that it's dealing with religion is a little bit more interesting. So, and you'll see kind of what the outcome of that court case is. So for today, I just ask that after you watch this video and you've gone through the explanation, you do the 3 court cases, and basically all that information you can pull from the readings and the 2 short videos that I'll post with this one. I hope on Friday that we can maybe talk out some of these court cases and I can maybe answer any questions you might have. They're really interesting, and they affect you. This is stuff that you're going to run into some point in your life. So I hope to see you, although it won't be mandatory. I hope to see you guys on Friday. If you have any questions, please reach out. I did get grades in for essays, and I should be all caught up by the end of the day today with the work that was due, the first set of court cases, and then I'll also work on the court cases that were due today. If you have questions, reach out. Grades for quarter 3 are pretty much set at this point. If you have some difficulty with them or you're unhappy about something, although I wish you had talked to me sooner, please, there's still something I can do at this point. So reach out if you need me. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.